I think it's really simple. I think people tend to overthink it.
Okay.
It's as simple as stop eating.
This year, I'm bringing you guys podcasts relating to wealth, health, and finance. And today, my first guest is Mr. Ean Mills himself. This dude is my brother, like my brother from another mother.
Yeah.
I met him over 14 years ago, and we did music together.
Yes.
And then he left town about 5 or 6 years ago, and then came back swole and like training folks. And I was like, what's going on? This ain't the same dude.
Right.
I know. And so since then, he's been, for the past 2 years, just been training what feels like everyone in this area.
Yeah, man.
So let's just get right into it.
How I got into this, it was just something that, health has always been something that was near and dear to my heart as far as staying in shape. And what made me focus more on it was COVID. Once that happened, we couldn't go anywhere. So we had to really focus on utilizing a small area to stay somewhat healthy.
All right, so bro, tell us, what is the importance of setting realistic goals, and then how can one person go about doing that?
Some people think, I want to lose 50 pounds, and I want to do it in 1 month. No, that's not how it goes. That's not how the body works. I always use this statement, and how do I feel and how do I look when you get out of the shower? Everybody wants to look good naked. That's when you're most vulnerable, if you think about it. You know, once you come to a conclusion, okay, I want to drop 40 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever. Let's start small. Let's try to get it a pound at a time. Let's try to drop a pound every week or two.
Okay.
And if we start small, then it creates that snowball effect. I don't promote diets. I promote lifestyle change. And you just got to tweak, little tweaks here and there. I think it's really simple. I think people tend to overthink it.
Okay.
It's as simple as stop eating. And when I mean that, and I'm not trying to, not you or anybody that's watching to make anybody feel stupid or small, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm just literally saying, we don't understand, in Western society, focus so much on portion sizes. Our portion sizes are huge in comparison if you look at other countries. We got to make more money. We got to have this, the latest this, and I got to have it now. But we do that with the food as well. You can legitimately eat a bunch of healthy foods and overeat your healthy foods, and you're still going to gain weight.
Just simplify it for us.
Simplify it for you.
How do you lose weight?
You have to, what they call it, being in a caloric deficit. All that means is you're burning more calories than you're taking in.
Easy. And how do you do that?
So let's say if I want to lose weight, I have to cut my calorie levels, So when your calories is what you're eating on a day-to-day basis. So if I go back and I just eat 2,000 calories, when I'm legitimately taking in maybe 2,500 calories or 2,400 calories because I'm 240 pounds, if I cut back, I'm going to naturally lose weight. So I'm going to end up...
And that's according to like your lifestyle, being in the gym.
Being in the gym, right.
So if someone who's not in the gym, let's just say they want to lose weight, they got to either cut some calories.
They have to, because I'm not telling everybody needs to be...
Or work out, right?
Sure, but it's usually a combination of both. So I'm not saying somebody can't lose weight if they don't go to the gym. No, you can lose weight by not going to the gym, but your body will look different. So my whole thing is if you're wanting to lose weight, start tracking how many calories you're eating. Okay. And I think a lot of individuals don't want to do that. And it's just a little bit of basic math, adding, subtracting, and multiplying and dividing. That's pretty much it. So if you have a baseline, math, just what you're eating. They call it the macros. I'm just saying my fat content, my cholesterols, my protein levels and stuff like that. But you don't even have to get that deep into it, because not everybody wants to do all of that, right? But if you're trying to lose weight, all we need to do is get your body in a caloric deficit, eating less, burning more. Okay. That's essentially it. That's how you do it.
Let's say hypothetically a person wants to choose one of the two to start. Like, I'm new to this, I don't want to get overwhelmed, it's the new year. Right. I'm just gonna not eat as much. They can still lose weight.
They can not eat as much. But how much is too much? Well, we have to look at what your total weight is.
What you're taking in.
Exactly. People don't realize how many calories they're really taking in, right? So in a gym session, you can burn anywhere from about 400 to 500 calories that you burn in the gym.
That's a meal.
That's one meal, right? But at the same time, you and I can legitimately go to McDonald's right now, order number one, right? And in that number one, which is a Big Mac, if it's still Big Mac, I ain't been there.
Big Mac alone is like 400 or 500 calories.
The Big Mac alone is 400 to 500 calories. So if let's add the drink and the fries, that's already 1,000 to 1,100 calories, right? And it'll take you about 10, 15 minutes to eat that whole meal?
Yeah.
but it took you a whole hour to burn 500 calories. That's why, you see what I'm saying?
Never thought about it that way. So
you can't outrun your fork. So you can't eat bad and expect to get the benefits in the gym. So what we have to do is we have to address the eating part. Now, your body will look different when you are taking in less calories, but what you want to do is you want to tone, firm, abs. The guys want to have big legs, or excuse me, guys typically like to have the big arms with the cuts, and the ladies like to have the nice legs, right? But in order to do that, that is just speaking about body fat. The being symmetrical, right? So we have to, in order to achieve a body that looks like that, and I'm not saying everybody wants that, but I'm saying if you do, we have to dial it back.
Gym is absolutely necessary.
It is
at some point.
At some point, if you want to tone and firm that body.
Okay.
If you don't want to tone and you just kind of just want to be whatever, if you notice, a weightlifter looks different than a runner, a long distance runner.
Yeah.
Right? They can spend most of the time on the treadmill, and that's fine. That's what they're gearing up for. But a weightlifter can't be on the treadmill running all day and have a competition, just like a track star or a long distance runner can't be lifting weights all day, because it's different. You are looking to do something different, right? Okay. So whatever it is that you want to achieve body wise, those are the keys, or those are the things that you have to do to attain that. Okay. If that makes sense.
So tracking, is there any app that you would recommend that a person can track their calories?
Definitely there's some apps. Me personally, I don't use the apps, but I mean, I just been doing it long enough where I know.
When I was losing weight, I used the MyFitnessPal calorie counter, and I was able to, the reason I liked it, like if I had a Big Mac, I could literally type it in and it knew the calories. I could scan the barcodes.
Exactly.
And so that was easy.
MyFitnessPal would definitely work.
Okay.
And it does all the work for you, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just say, this is what I'm doing. But it's keeping you, and what you're basically saying is that was what you use to keep yourself and hold yourself accountable.
And it held me accountable.
Exactly.
A lot of people are scared to go to the gym.
Yes, they are.
Can you address that?
It's a vulnerable space to be, to know that you're overweight. And I don't even want to, I'm going to say it. To know that you're overweight, or you're not where you want to be, to go into a place that is designed to get you in shape. And then a lot of times that is not the situation. I think more of the situation is being looked at or judged, because you see all of these people that are not like you. You are your worst critic. So you like, man, this ain't looking right. This don't look right. But you have to realize that those same people in there have that same mindset as well. So they may be 40, 50 pounds lighter than you, but in their minds, this is not right, this is not right, and you have to try to keep in mind that you're there for you. Secondly, I think a lot of the times people shy away from the gym is they don't know what to do. They don't know what to use. They don't know how this works.
So speak on that. What can a person do if they can't afford a trainer and they want to go to the gym? So
here's the thing. If you can't afford a trainer, that's fine. What you can do is break your body up, right? Are we gonna work the upper body today? Are we gonna work the lower body today?
Okay, so like let's say I'm new at the gym for the first time. How many times a week do I go?
I would say a good 2 to 3 times a week.
2 to 3 times. And when I go, let's just say I can only make it twice.
Sure.
What do I focus on the first time and the second time?
I would do upper body and lower body.
What exercises would you say targeting like upper body?
So for the guys, right? We'll start with the guys. Your first day, if you're gonna do 2 days, all right, let's work on chest, right? So the bench press there. Every guy knows what the bench press is. So we're gonna get underneath there and we're gonna push, okay?
How much weight?
So what you want to do is, what I would have you do right now is I want you to just get warmed up. So I'm gonna get you weightless. Just grab the bar, get something, if you've never been on it, let's get on a Smith machine because it's a little bit easier. Okay. So you're not having to balance the bar. So we just want something simple if you've never been to a gym before. Okay. Keeping it simple. So we're gonna get underneath that bad boy. I just want you to make the movements. Make the movements. I want your back on the bench. I want your chest rolled up. I just want you to push up and down, nice and slow. Nothing fast like this, just nice and slow. Nice and slow and steady. And then after that, because I'm not familiar with how your strength is, let's move up to it, so let's put 10 pounds on here. Slide 10 pounds on one side, and I want you to do that 12 12 times.
Okay.
Just do it 12 times, right? And if I'm watching you and I'm like, that bar's moving pretty easy for you, then I might double up on it, until I start getting some resistance. Because what I'm trying to do is I want to see exactly when you start to really not peter out, but when you start to get that bar starts moving a little bit slower. So we might have it up to 40 pounds, and that's cool. We're just trying to get something started here. Then what I would do is we would do an incline. We just bring the bench up, do the exact same thing, right? So we're working a different part of the chest. Okay. And then after that, we want to work, might as well, since we hit this chest, work the shoulders, right? This is upper body, right? Let's work the shoulders. So after that, we're gonna go and we're gonna work shoulder press, just like that. So we're working the shoulders, right? Then obviously guys want the big guns, right? So let's work some biceps. Everything's 3 sets, 3 to 4 sets. And the rep range is anywhere from 10 to 12. Just keeping it simple. And what you're doing, we're not lifting crazy. We just want to do it where we're getting some resistance, where you're actually feeling it and you're able to make a muscle and really, I want you to flex every single time you're curling that weight, or every single time you're pushing that weight. I want you flexing whatever area that you're working. That's the secret that most people, they're just in there doing stuff, and that's not how you do it. If you want to really stimulate that muscle, because when you're doing weights, you're causing these micro tears in the bicep, in the chest, in the quad, in the hamstrings, wherever that you're targeting. So what we have to do is what we call it time under tension. So we want to put that pressure on the area that we're working.
I had never heard that. Wait, so you're saying if I'm lifting, I can't just be out there lifting like that?
No.
Like if I want to work this right here,
right?
I gotta
Yes. So when you come
flex
up,
it.
Exactly. So when you get ready to
purposely
flex it. So you're bringing that chest down, you're pushing up 1, and then 1 second. It took you 1 second to bring it down, and then push it up, right here. And then I want you to go. If it took you 1 second to push it up, I want you to take 2 seconds to bring it down.
So I should feel it wherever I want it.
The target area, whatever you're hitting.
Outta here.
Yeah.
Bro, I've never heard that.
Let's say you start with 20s or start with 15s, right? You got to 12. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to call it a progressive overload. So I don't want you just to be staying at the 15 pounds or the 20 pounds. Let's bump it up a little bit. So I want you to grab the 25 pounds. See if you can get to 12.
And that's like after the first set?
After the second set, I want you to lift a little heavier. Not a huge jump. So if you started at 20, go to 25. See if you can do it. If you can get to 12, cool. If you got the 10, perfect. All right, that's even great. That third set, grab the 30. So that we got the bicep. Well, we got to work the tricep next. So that is more of a dip, right? Or tricep pull down.
Pull down.
Exactly. And when you're doing that pull down, and we can get all into that, you just really want to squeeze where you're flexing that muscle. So if you can do with just in the air, flex it. That's how you do it. Flex. Flex. And you're holding it, and then you release it, but you release it slowly. So it's time under tension. And after we hit that, that's pretty much it. You want to work the forearms? That's cool too. So you can do all kind of things with the forearms, where you are just taking it, going up and down, and just, or you can, there's a little, forget the name of it, where you're just doing a twist or whatnot. And you're just working your forearm. So you got your whole arm. And then we just might as well hit some core. That's simple. We can either do some basic sit-ups, go get you the decline bench, curl your legs in there and do some sit-ups.
Nice.
Don't let your back touch the ground or touch the back, and just do 3 sets of 20. And really focus on squeezing that core as hard as you can every single time, flexing like somebody's gonna punch you. That's the flex that you want.
Okay, so after you do all of that, then you do some walking around the track, or you do a treadmill
do the treadmill, because by that time you're gonna be tired anyway, right? So like, man, I done been in here.
And that's for your cardio.
For the cardio, right? Because the cardio is we're trying to. Let me address something. When you're doing your sets, each set after you finish your set of 12, 10, or whatever you decide, rest only 1 minute, maybe 2. You don't want your heart rate dropping all the way down. You don't want that pump that you're starting to like, man, I feel like my arm is starting to swell on me. Yeah, it's good, because you're waking everything up. You got that pump, call it a pump. So now that blood is rushing in, so it has that swelling feeling behind it, which is a good thing. You're promoting growth at that time. So Just keep going, finish. 1 minute rest, hit it again.
Okay.
By that time, after you finish your workout, obviously you're a little bit tired, right? So what you want to do in that tired mode, go ahead and hit your cardio. Go walk for the next 15, 20 minutes. Go do some stair climbers, walk on a treadmill.
Okay. And really quick, why is cardio important?
Cardio is for the heart, cardiovascular.
Okay.
You're helping that heart, right? So we're building muscles, but you got to realize one of the most important muscle in your body is the heart.
Okay, so day 2, let's just quickly do a quick rundown of the lower body.
Lower body. You want to get under there. You want to squat, right? If you've never done a squat, you got to be very careful on squats or what have you. So I would urge you, if you're not sure how to actually effectively do a squat, look it up. We're really trying to work the quads, right? And don't go hard. Don't go super. A lot of people like to ego lift. Don't worry about that. You want to do everything effectively. You want to do everything right. Okay. Form is more important than how much you can squat. If you have back problems or back issues, I would say forego the squats and go to what's called a leg press. So you're actually sitting in the seat, right? So it's less stress on your back, and you're just pushing. Okay. Right? You're just pushing. The next thing is you want to try to use the hamstring. So it's a hamstring curl. Okay. If most gyms have that, this is where you lay down on the bench and leg back, and you curl your heels to your butt. 1 second to the butt. And then 2 seconds release. They call that the negative. So just like me curling up. No, curl it up and then ease it down. And then we're gonna work the calves. So only thing you need to do, you can do that anywhere. With a calf raise is find you a little step, or some gyms have little boxes that you can stand on, and just get on your tippy toes and up and ease yourself down. Guys like to have the wide backs and stuff like that, so lat pull downs are good as well. So you can incorporate that if you have the time.
Cool. And so for the ladies, let's talk about day 1 and day 2. Let's quickly pump through that.
More or less, the ladies are more gonna be focused on working their legs. You feel what I'm saying? And the core. That's usually where the ladies are at. They don't want to look brolic like some guy. But that is not the case.
Really?
No.
Okay. Well, let's start
there. It's not, because that's a misconception. But at the end of the day,
so it's the same
thing.
What are the set of exercises you're talking about?
Same exercise.
The leg press,
the squat machine.
Curl,
yep.
Squat.
Yes, and then some things that we do add for the ladies because they want to go after the butt, right? So what you can do, really, you can actually get on all fours, ladies, in a nice area that is kind of off to yourself, because I understand you might be more of a vulnerable position, right? So you're trying to work the gluteus maximus, or the booty, right? So what we want to do is take a little 5 or 10 pound weight as you're on all fours, right? Cuff that weight in between your leg, on one leg, and then heel to ceiling, right? Heel to ceiling. So imagine you're in all fours, and you're just moving your leg up. There's also, you can get underneath that bad boy, and you can do what they call pelvis thrusts. Ladies pretty much know what that is, but that's promoting growth and trying to grow that butt as well. And then, ladies, work your calves too.
Let's do day 2 for the ladies.
Yes.
They doing the core, the upper body. What should they focus on?
Core is essential. So get in there and get them crunches in, get those leg lifts in. You can do all of that by your, off to yourself. You don't need a whole lot of space. Grab you a little weight.
Okay.
Sit on your butt, balance on your butt, cross your feet, and twist, working the obliques. So you're not only just working the front part, working the sides as well. We call those the love handles, right? Okay. So you want to work those parts as well. So what else should the ladies be doing on that second day? Any arms? Do the same thing, yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of times, ladies, you have to realize, listen, you are not going to grow muscle the same way as the men. So you're not going to get big and just totally brolic with these big, broad shoulders. It's not how the body works unless you're competing. And when you're competing, there's some other things that are taken in order to get that type of growth, right? So get in there and do some curls. Get that barbell and curl, right? So you still want to get that definition. You get all the definition on your legs. You can see all the nice little definitions and cuts on your legs, but you don't see nothing up top. So you want to sculpt your body symmetrically.
Okay. How much water should a person be drinking?
On average, about 2 liters of water.
A day?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what is 2 liters? Is that like...
a 2 liter a pop?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just full of water. And it's not cold water. Some people don't like lukewarm water. I do, But what it does, if you notice in some cultures, when they finish, and I can speak to this wholeheartedly because shout out to my Thai family back out in SoCal. When we would finish a meal, they would actually serve us hot tea right afterwards. What does that promote? It helps the digestive tract. When we have oils and fats in food, right?
Right.
What happens when you turn the cold water on? It clumps up, right? It's the same thing. You put a whole lot of cold liquid right on that, it's gonna slow the whole process down, right?
If a person wanted to book with you, what would that look like?
So I offer classes, right? 30 for the class, and you just show up. Each class will be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 4:30.
Is it a different price if they want you one-on-one?
Yes. If you want me one-on-one, I charge $50 per session.
So does any of these come with meal plans?
No, they don't. If you want to do meal plans, and I do have clients that do meal plans, and I'll get you squared away. You get the groceries, and I'll come through, cook it up for you, boom, boom, boom.
Oh.
And we good, right? That's gonna run you a straight $100 for the week.
Really, somebody could be paying around, at most, $200 a week for meal plans and classes.
Yes, sir.
If a person can't afford you and can't afford meal plans, who's gonna hold them accountable? How can they hold themselves accountable?
I think it is channeling what it is that you're taking in, right? So if you're spending any amount of time on Instagram or Facebook, it's all based on algorithms, right? So you start implementing those workout videos, they'll start popping up more into your feed. And here's the thing, especially in the Black community, and I can speak about this, is we have diabetes runs in our family. Everybody hears that in the Black community, and I'm sure white communities and whatever and so forth.
In our family.
Right, a lot of things we always say. Well, that disease runs in our family. So we want to break those generations, right? We're not getting any younger at the end of the day, so we really want to be around, right? You want to put yourself in position. And for me, my dad died early, earlier than he had to, in my opinion, right? So what he could have done, which he was doing towards the end of his life, was getting more active. But sometimes we have to realize when we start making those changes, sometimes we can't reverse certain things that may have already happened, that might run a catalyst to this.
And that's why you're on here, because your health is tied to
Yes,
wealth.
exactly.
To keep yourself accountable, pretty much find people that you like and follow them online, keep them in your feed so that it stays in front.
That's what it does for me. I watch The Rock a lot of the time. So if I don't feel like getting up or C.T. Fletcher, those inspirational things, I don't feel like getting up and going to the gym, I might put something on, just enough to, jar me just a little bit.
Well, with that being said, I just want to say, bro, I'm proud of you. You did your thing. Like, you literally went from just, doing music to just being like this super big trainer, entrepreneur, and I never knew you had the entrepreneurial spirit. So this is amazing to see. This is a perfect time to segue into my next point that, this new year, I know that you guys have goals. Everyone has goals, and you can check out my video on how I'm keeping my goals front and center by my own vision board on my phone and the law of attraction. And so you just never know what you might learn from that video. So check it out here.